Good morning to all. It's 6:30 here on top of Allegheny Mountain. Yesterday, I produced a video that I was going to tell my story about the different stages I went through in order to write the first book. Now here I sit, and I told you you're getting what you see. I'm going to have to go get the book, but after finishing that video and telling the things I was telling that happened over 4 decades ago, that what I was telling on myself, thinking the statute of limitations had run out, and then I thought, well, after I say the 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that got me to be an author, after the motorcycle club I was in, then Christianity, but the one after Christianity, I had to stop and ask AI, should I tell the general public about this time in my life? Although it was 4 decades ago. And then after that, I become an author. And artificial intelligence, which I have access to here on my computer, more technology, and I know what to do with. I told AI my story, the 1, 2, 3, 4 steps that before I got to be an author. AI said, well, although in the state of Virginia, that statute of limitations usually runs out about 5 years. However, you better seek legal counsel before you tell the whole story. Although statute of limitations may have run out, if there's somebody in the state of Virginia with all the names that you talked about in your books, although you didn't meet those people, but they were high-level FBI wanted people, and you were yes, I was under investigation. The state of Virginia thinking I built my daughter's house and I built my house off of drug money, which is not true. I held a job down for 28 years, my wife over 45 years. So none of that was true. And these people I mentioned, although I mentioned one's name, and his name was Wally Thrasher. He was well known. He was a legend in the mid-'70s in Southwest Virginia. I may have smoked some of his pot. I don't know that for sure. But I never met the man. But the fact I did smoke some of his pot, which was Colombian gold, I'm thinking, that time in my life, if the state of Virginia wanted to pursue something after me, which I've been investigating, yes, I'm on a dossier, I'm sure, in my files, and I'm sure I'm being monitored daily, but I'm 76 years old now. I didn't get away with anything. My life of a checkered past has cost me a great deal. It cost me my family, it's cost me my health, a lot of worry and anxiety, and writing was a relief. I don't know how I got through it. That'd be put in jail. God knows I was brazen. But by the hand of God, I got through it. Listen, I'm going to get up and go get the book. The first book, The Growing Season. See, I was going to tell how did it come up. So, unedited, I'm going to get up a minute. Oh, mercy. Told you I didn't know what I was doing, that these YouTube channels are going to be. I'm uneducated. This book, The Growing Season. Drugs, drama, and deliverance are the key elements in The Growing Season, set in the 1960s and 70s, that takes readers on a nostalgia tour of Ray's Restaurant in Floyd, meeting friends at the Derry Bar in Galax, Depps Beach and Freeze on the New River, Old Time Music and Fiddler's Convention in Galax. That was my first book. See my picture? Ain't I cute? The Growing Season. I released this book, and I was going to tell the story up to that point, what happened. But there was a segment in there about my involvement in the subculture in the mid-'70s. And when I told AI what I was saying and looked at the video, artificial intelligence, which is a good tool, that I better seek legal counsel before I released any videos talking about that time in my life. Now, I wasn't a kingpin. You know, back in those days, you knew somebody where you could get an ounce of pot. You know, but although it's 4 decades ago, and knowing that I'm still at a point of interest to the Drug Task Force in the state of Virginia, if not Fed, because a friend, we wasn't really a friend, but I knew this guy when I was in high school. He was a federal marshal, retired. Well, he come to see me wanting to read my books. Then I caught him off guard later on. I said, "Man, are you still yet a officer of the court?" He hesitated to answer me. So I'm figuring they got him to come investigate me one-on-one, given the fact he knew me in high school. Now, I don't know if he did that or not, but he was a retired. I think he's still doing undercover work for the Federal Marshal Department. So that put me alert. I named names that the law enforcement knew very well. But see, during that time, my wife's a great introvert. We didn't go out to the dance halls or the clubs, or, you know, we stayed home when we smoked our pot. I mean, so the video that I did yesterday, I have to come in here and do this one. And I want to tell you about how this first book come about, The Growing Season, all in Southwest Virginia. So AI said, speak to an attorney before you release that first one. Because there was a 1, 2, 3, 4 phase in my life before it come to pass. You know, my beginning, when I got out of the Bikers Club, that God gave me a vision about being a writer, and the fact that I could not read or write, it took 50 years to come to pass. And in that 50-year period, I was a pretty wild individual. And I got excuses for that. Nevertheless, the law don't want to hear your excuses. Now, I got a little brother who, he told me big time, man, you don't tell the law nothing. Because if they really want you, they'll make up something. They'll come and get you. Well, I didn't get away with anything. And I did put people's names in my stories because it was during my time in Southwest Virginia. I keep stop looking at the camera. I keep looking at myself. But so this video now is just to say, I could tell that period of my life, all except my experience of the mid-'70s before I become an author. The book I'm writing on, see, this is the first book in a 7-novel series. The Growing Season, all the way through to the last book called Under the Blood. It's when one of the characters, Bobby, goes into the ministry. In the early 70s, street ministry and coffee house ministry was a big deal. So that'd be the very last book. Took 10 years to do all this. So here it is, a 10-minute video. If you're interested to hear the whole story, get the book off of Amazon. The Growing Season. Start with that book. It's not expensive, but this will introduce about the characters. This will start you out on a 7-novel journey that may interest you. All in Southwest Virginia. Mount Rogers, White Top Mountain. All the way back to Floyd County, Montgomery, Pulaski, Smith, Grayson, Carroll. Start with this one. As the meantime, I'm going to be telling you guys how all this come about. How that happened. How it took 50 years to come to pass. It took 10 years to write the series, and I'm still not finished. And I'm 76 years old. So, if I've been having a few views, but some of you guys who said go to Amazon, buy The Growing Season first. This is the beginning. This takes place in 1975, but at the end of it, it goes back in time. And then I'll tell you, and we'll talk about the next book after this one. And after I talk to an attorney about giving the steps I took, what I went through for this first book to be wrote and to be released in November of 2015. This was the first one. Then I'm going to tell you every detail how I got to that point. From nothing to a motorcycle club, and I can't tell you the next. Well, the next was Christianity, and then the next was what I better not talk about, and then being an author. I've got to talk to an attorney before I can tell my whole story. This could be serious. It could be. It's just precautionary. I'm too old to go to jail, folks. I'd be dead. I can't afford nothing. I mean, I got caught growing. I mean, it's on record. I got caught growing pot for myself. It ended up costing me over $8,000 not to go to jail. And I wasn't growing it to sell. I was growing it for self, but they wanted me. So they charged me with a felon for growing 6 marijuana plants. And now it's grow all the devil you want. So I made this video to let you know. I can't tell the whole story. In the meantime, go to Amazon and buy The Growing Season, Chippy Day. The Growing Season. Start with this book. This will open up your curiosity. Hurry, but I'm 76 and I got heart failure. And many different ailments at my age. Amazon. Jiffy Day, The Growing Season. Fight, Flee, or Be Funny. This happens in Montgomery County, Virginia in 1975. This is the beginning of the 7-novel series. Well, I thank you for your time. Subscribe, push that like. I need your views. Maybe YouTube will help me out. Because I used YouTube to do a lot of research before I started being a writer. Anyway, I'm pushing 15-minute video here. I hope I ain't boring you to death. And we'll be posting this soon. Keep watching my videos, folks. And at my age, God bless America. For my generation saw it all. We witnessed it, all the changes. And really that's what these books are about. It's my generation. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, Vietnam. Check The Growing Season out. It's the very first one in the Amazon. Buy The Growing. I'm on Kindle also. Amazon and Kindle, paperback. Buy this one first. Then we'll talk about the next one. Now, anybody around Blacksburg, Virginia, Good Vibe store sells my books. If you're local in Southwest Virginia, and I understand they're going to open up some more stores in like Marion, Abingdon. I think eventually she's going to open up several stores and produce will have my books on sale there. Thanks guys for your time. Hit that subscribe and like. I need your help. I'm 76 and I'm just talking about reality here. Y'all have a great week.